My name is Yewande Olushola from Matters of the Heart. If you've been tracking with me for any length of time, you'll know I'm a great advocate of men and women being able to find their soulmate at any age. Yes, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, or even 80s or 90s. Whether you have been married before, or you've been widowed, or you've never married. So, on this episode, we're going to be talking about the qualities that you will need to develop or already have but just need to bring out to attract your soulmate. Let me begin by making a declaration that this episode is not for people who are not interested in having a relationship. It's actually for those who are looking for a soulmate. So if that is you, keep on that dial, press the subscribe button, and let's get into it. So, what is it that you need to attract your soulmate? The first and very most important thing that you need is interest, of course. You have to be interested in having a soulmate. You have to be interested in discovering what the men or the women are looking for in a soulmate. What are you looking for? What would be your ideal partner? And the very thing that a lot of people talk about is someone that can be a good companion to them, someone they can go away on holiday with, someone they can relate to, someone that will understand them. And in order for that to happen, reverse it. Say to yourself, what kind of person would I like in that situation? And the most important thing that I realized that most people want is an authentic person, a real person, not someone that's pretending. Oftentimes, we're taking our references from social media, we're taking our references from the culture and the society that we live in. And so we think men are looking for hot, attractive women, and women think men want maybe a domesticated woman, one that is able to cook and clean, and that might be a reason why they're not getting the right person, because they're a career person, they've got their house, they've got their car, they've got everything they need. Can I submit to you that that's not even what men and women are looking for? The most important quality that any man or woman is looking for is an authentic person, someone that's not pretending, someone that's real. So in my case, I'm a little bit quirky. Sometimes I can be funny. I don't take myself too seriously. And it doesn't matter whether you're fat, slim, tall, short, long, pretty, not pretty, whatever that is. Of course, attractiveness is in the eye of the beholder. As they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So I would say the most authentic quality from my experience and from what I've heard lots of other people say is that they want somebody that's real, someone that's not pretending, that whenever they hook up with you, you are real, you are the real deal, you are who you say you are. That is the most important quality. So practice just being yourself. Don't worry that it doesn't look like how somebody else looks. Don't worry if it doesn't sound like how somebody else sounds. Myself, I'm a British Nigerian. Sometimes I can be very Nigerian, sometimes I can be very British, sometimes I'm a mixture of both. That is me, that is my authentic self, and nothing is going to change that. Guess what? When I met my husband, and this is my second marriage, I've been divorced before, as some of you who have been tracking with me will know that when I got divorced the first time, I had nothing left. I used to have a big house, that went. I used to have a job, that went. I used to have my son, I didn't know where he was. So I was stripped to my bare minimum. So in that time, I was depressed, I was homeless, and I needed to rebuild back my confidence. Remember, what doesn't kill you, as the saying goes, makes you stronger. And a lot of us would have been through different experiences. If those situations have caused you to be stronger, it means that you are able to bounce back. Now, I'm not saying that these experiences would not have left a great deal of trauma. This is where taking time out, to develop yourself again and build yourself up with the support of friends and family, or therapy, or going away. In my case, I went away for a season and came back, which brings me to the second quality that you need to be able to attract your soulmate, is being open to love again. After all that I've been through, after all that you've been through, it may be that you feel like, God forbid, I'm not going down that road again. Maybe it's been abuse, maybe it's been emotional, psychological, physical trauma that has come out of that situation that you were in with a previous relationship. Don't let that bar you from giving yourself a second chance. Life is for living. In fact, my openness to love caused me to ask my ex-husband for forgiveness. I actually asked him, I said, listen, is there anything I did that contributed to the breakdown of our relationship? I'm asking for your forgiveness. This was not done face to face. You don't have to do it face to face. This was done in writing. It was email. At the time, I didn't even have access to him. He had gone incommunicado. So I asked for forgiveness and he granted me that forgiveness. That freed up my mind to be able to love again. Number 3, be emotionally responsible. Take responsibility for your emotions. Sometimes you're going to get triggered, which we all do. Maybe you've met somebody that as soon as you've spent a little bit of time with them, you realize that they remind you of your ex, or ex, that didn't treat you very well. That's a trigger. And that trigger can cause you to abandon that relationship. But take responsibility. Why am I feeling this way? Is it really this person that is not at the level that I need him or her to be? Or is it me being triggered because of a previous hurt? Take responsibility. Examine it. Look at it. If possible, get people in your lives that care about you to feed back to you how you're coming across. Sometimes we don't know how we're coming across. I often say to people, be nice when you're meeting people, whoever it is, because you never know whether they're the ones that's going to lead you to that relationship that you really would like to be in. Because your friends know people. The people that know you know your situation. Have that openness with people that are close to you. The next thing that you have to be mindful of is that you don't want an old baggage to interfere with your new relationship. Of course, everybody comes with baggage. That is understandable. And you have to be looking to see if both your baggages can work together to make this relationship work. I'm in a blended family situation, and that came with baggage. My husband of now almost 9 years now, we've been married, had children. I had a child. So both of us had to work with having children. The children we had weren't very young. We had like one teenager each at the time we got together. But we had to work with that baggage. I had a child at home. He had a child at home. And then we had to work through how we were going to do the relationship in a way that would not be detrimental to both our children. Over time, we worked that one out, and then we made sure that we introduced our children to each other when we decided that we wanted to go steady. Okay, the next one that you have to consider is whether or not you are willing to grow in this new relationship. Some of us are very stuck in our ways. In fact, we're so stuck that it becomes difficult to manage a relationship because we don't want change. Some of us have got a house of our own, we've got a car, we've got a career, we're comfortable, and that comfort becomes a defense. It stops us from being able to grow and develop and be flexible. For example, if you've got your own house, your own car, your own money, you'll be really thinking that I just want my partner almost like a bit of an accessory. We want to just have good times together. He pays for things, I pay for things sometimes, but mostly not much sharing is going on. No, we cannot be like that. We have to be able to make growth a possibility. Development, let's call it development in the relationship. And whether or not we're open to growth and development will determine whether or not we're ready to attract our soulmate. Because that man or that woman is also sizing you up, trying to decide, is she or he authentic? Are they open to love? Are they not going to bring the old baggage into this new relationship? Are they emotionally responsible? Are they able to take responsibility for their emotions? And are they willing to grow with me? The last but not the least consideration is be kind and compassionate with your spouse to be, your soulmate to be, your friend. If you're not kind and compassionate about their past, about your past, how can two walk together unless they're kind to one another? There'll be friction. Kindness is something you develop. Give them room for making mistakes. Sometimes you've not been in a relationship for a long time. When I started my relationship, I hadn't been in a new relationship for 14 years. I'd been married at that point for 14 years. There was no way that I knew what was happening in the dating scene anymore. So I had to give myself permission to be kind and compassionate, even to myself. I had to be willing. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people that you meet. Even if they're not exactly the right person for you at that stage, they may potentially know somebody that might be right for you. I cannot tell you how many people I've met that they know I'm married. In fact, sometimes I'm on the train, somebody will come up to me, and this is no lie. They will come up to me and say, "Oh, I just love the way you smile. I love the way that you are." And they haven't met me for more than 5 minutes. Now, that is a quality that we must work towards, where we are nice to people around us, where we are kind and compassionate to people around us, whether they're single or married or whatever status they are, because they could be leading us to that person that will be the right match for us. So, a bit of an exercise for you. Make some action points out of these things I've talked about. Work on becoming your authentic self. Be kind to yourself. Maybe get a journal. Write down the kind of qualities that you currently have that makes you authentic, that makes you real, that makes you the person that you are happy to be. And it can be quirky. It can be unusual. Like I've shared some of mine with you. I'm Nigerian, I'm British, and sometimes I'm a little bit of both. And it all comes out all together. And sometimes it's just looking like, what is she? Who is she? But that's who I am. I was partly brought up in the United Kingdom, and I was partly brought up in Nigeria. So that brings a mixture. That brings a cultural flavor. And to make the situation even more flavorsome, my husband is a British Ghanaian. So that makes us a very rich and blended family. He has 4 children, I have 1, and we are all a blended family. So I want you to take some action points. Sit down and consider who your authentic self is. Remember, it doesn't matter about your economic status. It doesn't matter whether you have children or you don't have children. Right now in your life, what is important to you? What is your authentic self right now? Number 2, do you need to forgive anyone for treating you bad in the past, for treating you in a way that made you feel less than who you should be? Forgive them. If you can, write them a letter. If you can, voice it to them. If you can, if you don't have access to them anymore, speak it into the atmosphere. I forgive you so and so for doing X, Y, and Z to me. Take responsibility for your happiness, for your emotional state. Because that other person may have moved on. They may not even be aware of how you're feeling. Yes? And sometimes you just have to release yourself. Right now, you are the most important person in this new relationship that you're looking for, this soulmate that you're looking for. And you will find him or her because they're there. They're waiting for you to emerge, to arise, to give permission to yourself to be authentic. Number 4, be prepared for the growth. The growth will come when you have given yourself permission to grow with somebody. Be kind, number 5, and compassionate. That involves sometimes making yourself of no reputation to people or situation or circumstances. I've said that to myself. I've made myself of no reputation in order to be able to grow into who I need to be for where I am right now. So 5 things that I've mentioned. See if you're able to work on at least 2 or 3 of them, and I'll see you at the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this with someone. If you know somebody that's waiting for a relationship, whether they're 70 or 30, share this video with them. Share this audio with them. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.